Okay, gang, I guess we'll get going here. I got a couple different clocks. My computer and phone say a different time, so we'll just keep admitting people as they show up here. Looks like a few more trickling in, but we will get going. So thanks for stopping in here tonight and jumping on this session with us. Tonight we've got Riley Dudar. Anybody who watched presentations last year, Riley came on and did an excellent one. We had good feedback. Always does great things with supporting with video and talking about concepts. Riley is owner operator of Evolution Hockey out in Manitoba. Works right from, this is what these presenters are what I really like, people that work right from grassroots hockey all the way to pro players. And Riley's got pro players, and I think works with U7 and everything in between. So it's excellent to talk to somebody with experience like that, that's seeing development through every window of a player's kind of path through minor hockey. Riley also is a scout with the Chicago Steel and head of player personnel with Winkler Flyers. And then also I've met Riley through the Hockey Canada Skills Network, certified Hockey Canada skills coach, and still does a lot of work with Hockey Canada on that front. So Riley, I'll turn it over to you. And I guess, do you want questions throughout it, Riley, or do you want to just do them in the chat box and finish them up when we're done? What's best?
It doesn't matter. I'm probably not going to check the chat box, as I'm just blabbering away with whatever we're talking about here tonight. And if anyone feels like they need to interrupt, I don't have a problem with that whatsoever, or save them for the end. Doesn't matter to me either or.
Okay. Yeah, right, go ahead.
Okay, thanks. We're going to talk about playing with Poise today. Mike already kind of said who I am, but I grew up playing hockey in Winnipeg, got a scholarship to the University of Manitoba, where I played there for 5 years. And I stayed on for an additional 5 years as an assistant coach after, primarily looking after the skills as well as the power play. During that time, I got involved in the Hockey Canada programs and as the first ever program for the skills coaches. That's where Mike already said we met. I don't know why this isn't working. I work with players from the NHL level all the way down to the grassroots and everywhere in between. Over the last 2-3 years, I've been scouting for the Chicago Steel and the USHL, and more recently took on the role as director of player personnel for the Winkler Flyers. And what that really entails is building a scouting team for the draft. So basically scouting players throughout Manitoba and really learning to view the game through a different lens. And that's kind of how I'm coming to all of you tonight is, I've been a player, I've been the head coaching type role on the bench, working on the systems and all that kind of stuff. And then got into the skills game, where that's the primary basis of my business is skill development. And then more recently viewing the game from the scouting perspective. And it's been a very cool challenge and a very cool perspective to watch the game from. And my goals are just to really share everything that I'm learning and observing in the game. And, I don't want to say I'm an expert by any means, but I'm just an observer of the game. And this is what I'm seeing, and this is what we're working on, and this is what we're teaching. And if anyone has anything to add to what I'm saying or challenge what I'm saying, I think that's awesome. And I welcome the conversation. The objectives of the presentation here tonight is just, what is Poise? What skills are required to play with Poise? How do we train it? And we're basically going to focus just on the position of defense. When I was putting together everything, the presentation would be far too long if we got into all the forward side of things. So everything that you're going to see tonight is basically all defensemen. We're going to look at 3 different situations as it relates to Poise around the net and using the net, Poise in open ice, and Poise on retrieval. So everything that we're looking at here tonight is going to revolve around these 3 situations. And when I think of Poise, originally I think of this guy, Roman Josi. The NHL players that I work with, when I ask them, the defensemen, when I ask them, who do you look up to in the NHL? Like, who do you want to play with? And they always say Roman Josi, and poise and patience is the thing that they talk about most. And if you Google Poise and look up the definition of Poise, Some of these words come up: graceful, elegance, balanced, equilibrium. But here in quotations, I kind of just like to think of it as making something look easy, playing with ease, or playing with confidence. And that's kind of how I look at what poise is. When we're talking with our players about how to develop poise, looking at these 4 things. So where is your time? Where is your teammates? Where's the space? And where is the opposition? And we'll come back to these throughout the presentation. But what does playing with poise actually look like? And here's just a little compilation of Roman Josi. So on right over here, going back for a puck, you can just see here those words that I've already described: the elegance, the patience, making things look easy. He just does this in every single clip. Here he is right now with the puck, doesn't like what he sees. So see how he's able to just suck these players in. F1 turns away and he's able to maintain possession and make the next play. Here he picks up puck in the neutral zone. He's able to suck in F1, F2. He's able to just leave that guy behind, just with some patience and poise. He also wheels the net, sucks a guy into him, knows where his teammates are, and he just bumps it right back to his other teammate. Again, in the neutral zone, just being able to look over his shoulder, look both directions, and just be able to extend his possession rather than just simply getting rid of the puck. And when we look at poise around the net and using the net, so we've already seen this clip, but I'll stop it here. So we talk about, and I'll get more into this, we talk about getting there at the right time. If he quickly gets net safety here, maybe this guy doesn't even chase him because there's no point, there's no chance. Here, Josi makes him think that he has a little bit of a chance, and he times it so that he doesn't get directly behind the net right away. He's just slowly making this guy think that he has a chance to check him, sucks him in, and he's able to cut him right around the net. Now he's beat F1, and now they have numbers coming up the ice. Same thing again here, little shoulder check. So he's aware of where his time is. He's aware of where the teammates are, he's aware of where his opponents are. And he knows one guy's coming on me, does a little hand fake, and then he's able to just bump the puck back into space. And you'll see players that don't have poise, what they're going to do is they're going to come around the net and they're just going to look at their options basically up here on the wall. And if nothing's there, they're going to go off the glass and out. Not saying that's a bad play or the wrong play, because there's a time and a place for everything. But to maintain possession and extend your team's possession, there's got to be a better play than glass and out. And right there, Josi makes it. And he makes those types of plays all the time. We can see here, player turns up ice. He's got F1 coming on him, doesn't like what he sees, so he just turns away. Look what F1 does. And you'll see F1 in a lot of these clips. They just turn away. Forwards are lazy on the forecheck. Forechecking sucks. It's not fun. And so knowing that, let's take advantage of that. So we'll watch F1 here, that as soon as defenseman turns away, F1 turns away. Now he's able to maintain possession, extend possession for his team. Dahlin, this is a guy that came highly touted as a #1 pick. And this year, I thought he's been fantastic to watch. He has a number of what I think are highlight clips. It's not just the end-to-end rush goals or the highlight reel goals. It's plays like these and other plays that you'll see throughout the presentation of Dahlin, of just being able to suck guys in. I love his body positioning and his posture here. So you just see how he's able to carry the puck on his side. So it's in a protected position. He's pushing with only his right leg, and he's just sucking that guy in while he's looking over his other shoulder, and just makes that simple little pass. F1 is beat again. Again, another turn away, a turn away. F1, F2 both give up. They go the opposite direction, and now he's got some more time. So if you look at the condition that this player picks the puck up in, he's got a player in yellow right on him, and he uses a little turn away, and now he's got lots of time and space to make a play. And if you're a good player and you have time and space, you're going to make a good play most of the time. Sam Girard is also a fantastic player to watch, so crafty. And here again, he's using the net at the right time. He doesn't get there right away. He's almost making this player in white think that he has a chance to check him. And then he turns on the jets, cuts him at the net, and now he's able to make the next play. And you can see here, F1 is right behind him on his tail. Renata Fast from Team Canada Women's Hockey. I thought she was fantastic in this year's Olympics at being able to grab pucks behind her net, knowing that she has support options over here. All she has to do is just bump the puck over to her teammate, and her teammate now has plenty of time and space to make a play. I love this clip here of McDonough in the playoffs a couple years ago. Watch all the little subtle details he has here. He uses his eyes, his toes, his hands, his stick blade, all to sell and to give false information. So here he's looking at his teammate behind the net, nothing. Here he looks up ice, making this player move his stick and move his toes. Watch the little hand fake that he does. Uses the net safety. Again, buys himself time and space to make a play. And we'll watch that in real time because I just think that this sequence is unreal. Whoops. I often hit the wrong buttons when I'm presenting, so bear with me. Here it is in real time. Just look at the poise and the patience. Just makes it look so easy, hanging on to pucks and just making plays to extend possession. When we're looking at poise in open ice, I already talked a little bit about the turn away or sucking in F1. We can see here again, we've already seen this clip, but watch Yosti. Geez, where did I just said it, I jinxed myself. So the thing I really like here is look where he's carrying the puck. It's in a protected position. I like that his eyes are always up there scanning, they're over his shoulder, and he's able to hang on to those pucks. Same thing right here. Look at his eyes. He's able to look over his shoulder while his toes are pointing one way, and he's able to turn away and extend possession and make a play. Renata Fast again. Here she's able to hang on to the puck. She's got F1 coming on her, a little turn away, buys herself time and space, gives it to her teammate, and they're able to just maintain possession, extend the play. Fast again here. Look at her, eyes over her shoulder, protecting the puck. She recognizes where her teammates are. She recognizes where the opponents are, and she just makes a nice little bump play to her teammate, and it's a simple exit. Sergachev right here, watch his little hand fake. F1 turns away because of that hand fake, and he's able to extend. Same thing here with Gerard. Little fake turns here. This guy is so crafty in his skating. Drives up ice, doesn't like what he sees, turns away. Look at all that time and space that he bought for himself. Little fake turn now for Gerard. To me, this is playing with ease. This looks easy. It's elegant. And he's got tremendous amount of patience. And it all starts with skating. When we look at retrievals, here's a couple of the Darlene clips I was talking about. When he's going back for pucks, he's watching for where's his teammates? Where's the pressure coming from? Where's my space? And where's the next play? And it's just a little bump like that. There's nothing fancy about these, but these are highly skilled plays. I don't really like how he took this contact here. I think he could take it a little bit better. Working on that, as we want to teach defensemen not to take many of these hits. But the fact that he's able to be aware of where his teammates are, where the pressure is coming from, and to be able to have his toes pointing one way and to be able to bump the puck the other way, to me is just thinking the game on another level. Same thing here, toes one way, and he's able to just spot the puck for his teammate. I think this is elite. Just like that, knows where, he even puts it under this forechecker stick here. So he knows where his lanes are, he knows where his options are. He's able to suck that guy in and just make a very simple little play. Now, these look simple and sound simple, but actually getting players to do this in a game is a challenge. And one of the NHL players I work with, Travis Sanheim, is right here. And these clips are a combination of clips before we started working together and after one summer of working together where we haven't really talked about poise. And these are some clips that we were watching in his game and we wanted to make an improvement on. And so we'll just watch how he was playing before we really started to work on this, on what he was doing when the puck was coming his way. And this was happening often. So he'd go back for these pucks and he'd just dish it away just like that. He's right here in the corner, comes up with a loose puck and just kind of shovels it away, not really being confident. Right over here, gets a puck, kind of just throws it up the wall, right into pressure, going back for a retrieval and basically just shoveling it right back up the wall when he had lots of time and space to to turn away over into this ice over here, especially with this player going down, to make a better play than this. And so after looking at clips like these and other ones, and after spending a lot of time working on things like this, all of the practice drills that I'm going to show you, whether they're with little kids or older people, we did all the drills that you're going to see here with Sanny, and we can just see here now, these are from this season over the past 2 months, and we can just look at the progression in some of his plays here. So he has the puck, so a little bit better, doesn't quite look as confident here. So you can see like this would be the start. Sorry, these clips are at the start of this year. You can see here just a little bit cautious, but steps in the right direction. Same here. He's able to turns away, and he gets rid of it right away. So steps in the right direction, but still not where we want to be. And now he's starting to go. So you see that little fake turn that he executed right here. Whoops. Little fake turn. Now he's using the net a little bit more, but he throws it away there. Now here he is behind the net. Look at him using his body similar to McDonough, shows his butt to the D, hangs onto the pucks, makes a nice little play there. Now we're starting to go, and now we're getting closer to present time with these clips. Able to suck someone in and just bump it back over to his teammate rather than give it away. Wheel the net. And instead of shoveling it right up the wall like he used to, now look at his eyes. He's looking over to the weak side, and he's moving the puck over to the other side. They're able to extend possession. Whatever his teammate does with it next, that's not our job to worry about anymore. You can see here he gets the puck, little fake, passes pucks underneath that guy's triangle to extend rather than just getting rid of it. Change of direction, little cutback, and a little bump back over to his teammate. Teammate has plenty of time and space now instead of shoveling it up the wall. Shoulder checking, toes are one way, bumps the puck over to his teammate. Picks the puck up in space, little fake over to his teammate, and then directly right up the wall. So I love this little subtle fake here. You can see it's all in his eyes, his hands, and his toes. So right there, he's showing like he's going D to D, kind of changes the trajectory of F1 and F2, buys a little bit of time and opens up this pass. Extended his possession. Picking up this play right here, little cutback, F1 turns away. Now he's got plenty of time and space, set things up to make a play. Turns away, look at F1, turns away, gets net safety. Nice little cutback again, little fake up the ice. So here's 2 plays in one. Nice little cutback, and then that fake right here with his hands and that fake pass. Look what it does to forechecker right here where his stick is. It's just these little tiny details that make a big difference to manipulate that forechecker. And so I'm going to go through all of the drills that we did to help make improvements in this. I don't think it does any of you any good just to show NHL players doing stuff. So we have clips of kids, I think, that are males and females from like U9 level all the way up to pro, male, female, and everywhere in between, because I think it's important that we see all levels. But every drill that I do with everybody. It's just the communication that I would say to an NHL player versus a U11 player is much different in how I speak to them or how fast we move through progressions. But all of these drills that you see, I did with Sanny and other pros, as well as very young kids. So the very basics, just to start, we've got to be able to handle the puck. We need to have a good feel of it. We need to have some vision. We need to be aware. We need to do this under movement and pressure. So just very basic stick handling with looking over our shoulders, as we saw in the Yossi clips, how he was able to handle the puck on one side of his body and look over his other shoulder. So we want to do this on both sides of our body. You can start stationary. You can see here we got a couple U9 girls, U13 boy. Now we're going to add a little bit of movement. So I want them to rotate around the puck, protecting it, getting their feet on both sides of the puck while their eyes are looking over their shoulder at some pressure. And I want them to make sure that they're going on both sides. So this is really good for the mobility in the neck and the thoracic region of the spine. And now we've got to add some thinking and some awareness. So now we've partnered these two young ladies up, and one lady is going to hold up fingers. The other has to look over her shoulder and count how many fingers she's holding up while pointing her butt to the other girl, because we want her to protect the puck. Now we're going to add one person, same exact drill. These are U13 AA players. Now this person is just standing there on defense. He's moving his stick around to create a little bit of confusion. One player is holding up fingers and the other player is trying to protect the puck while he's trying to pay attention to where the defender's stick is. And as you can see, the defender's not trying too hard. He's not trying to ruin the drill, but he's just trying to add another variable that the puck carrier now has to deal with. Sure, you're all familiar with the butterfly pattern. You start on the posts, you skate up the middle, you peel out towards the boards and you come back. So now we're just stick handling, looking over both shoulders. These are U11, U9, A, for us, the highest level and second highest level players, kind of a mix of both in this school program. And now we're doing it with movement up and down the ice. The next thing, very important, we got to make sure that we turn properly both ways. This is one of the very first assessment tools I do with any player that would do like a one-on-one with us, especially at the older levels. So this would be one of the first days that I saw Sani. So you can just see here how he's turning with his eyes. Look where his head is here as he's turning. So he's not looking to the right. So his head should be turning to look where he's going. And if we can get him to see where he's going a little bit quicker, he might be able to make more plays. And I didn't give him any coaching. I just said, I want you to do figure eights. I don't care how you do it. Just do it how you would normally do it. Got him on film. And we just wanted to look at his vision. Here, after we talked about it, I showed him the film. Now look at his eyes. So now you can see his head's already looking to where he's going. And this wouldn't be the next rep. Believe it or not, this does take multiple reps for players to be aware of this and get good at this. And this is at the NHL level too. So you might think, oh, this is too easy or basic, but this is the stuff that the elite level players want to get better at, is just these very basic things. This would be a U15 player who's amongst the league leading scorers at the AAA level. This would be one of the first times I worked with them. And I said, same thing. I want you to execute a figure eight. I don't care how you do it. And look at where his eyes are right now. As he's turning to the right, look at where his head is. His head's over here. So how do you expect to get more points? How do you expect to stay healthy if you're turning into traffic or turning into space and you have no idea what's over there yet? And so those are just little teaching cues. And we want to make sure that our eyes lead the turn. One thing that I like to work on is having that outside edge really glide. So watch his left leg right here. I really want his outside edge to maintain speed on top of the ice rather than slowing himself down. This player played on our World Junior team last year that was canceled, first round NHL pick, same thing. And watch his legs. So this is what I was talking about. I want to try and get their outside edge to glide over the ice. And I want to make clear that this isn't wrong. It's just a different way to turn. And a lot of guys will do this naturally. You see how he just slides on his turn? Again, not wrong, but I find that players will really slow themselves down. And if we're trying to turn an open ice, think the Gerard clip or the Yossi clip when he's turning away, he's maintaining his speed. He's not necessarily slowing himself down. And if we're constantly shaving the ice while we're turning, you're going to slow yourself down, and forecheckers might be able to get stick on you. You might be able to maintain a little bit of gap. So we work on stuff like this, and you'll see his last rep here with his left leg. I believe it's coming up right now, right there. You can notice the big time difference here, how he glides with his left leg versus how he was doing it at the start with shaving that ice. And you'll see a couple clips from now when we translate it into a game situation. But you can see here at the bottom, I say, we need a better sell. The puck has to be on your backhand while you're looking and leaning to the left. So you'll see in a couple slides that there's 3 ways to sell my turn that I'm going to the left. One is with his eyes and his head, which he's doing really well. The other is with his toes, which he's doing well. But his stick blade is not showing that he's turning to the left, because right now, if the puck is on his forehand side, there's no way he can execute that turn to the left. So his body language is half or 2/3 of the way showing like he's going to the left, but he also has 1/3 showing that he's not going to the left. So forechecker might not necessarily buy that sell that he's trying to turn to the left. And you can see here that he does get better at it. After we watch the film, we talk about it. And again, this players make mistakes. It's not all perfect. I don't want you to think that everything's perfect if you're working with good players. Like, they make mistakes like this too. And you can see here, he's really struggling to get it. But I think this is the last rep here. And here, now he's getting there a little bit better. So his toes, his eyes, and the puck on his stick is all showing that he's going left. So some of the other basics, we need to be able to transition skate with possession. So I talk to kids about underhandling, changing their pace, maintaining your speed, and being ready to make a play. A lot of times you'll see kids take their bottom hand off their stick. And as soon as you take your bottom hand off your stick, you can't pass, you can't shoot, you can't make a play. So we want to focus on keeping two hands while we're doing this. I call this the horseshoe skate. We just have players lined up at the top of the circle here. You're going to start always going to the middle. So you're always facing this way, the net, skate towards the hash mark, transition skate backwards up to the top, turn forwards to the other hash mark, transition skate backwards, finish with a shot on net. And you'll see here, Nev at the time, she was a U11 player, pretty good skater, pretty good mover. This would be like a staple warm-up transition skating drill that we would do. Here's another way to work on transition skating. So a player just takes off backwards. I want them to receive a pass from the next player in line, transition forward, do it, but the other way, open pivot, get it back, finish with a shot on net, then the next player goes. Whoops, sorry. Puck movement and passing. So it's funny that with stationary passing, I can do stationary passing with all of the best players. But if I were to do stationary passing with a U11 player, parents will lose their mind because my kid's way too good to do stationary passing yet. This guy was a first round WHL pick and NHL guy. Like I said, I do all the drills that you're seeing. I do with all the pros, everything. Just the way we progress through is a little bit different, but the higher level players all crave the very simple things. So I don't need to show you basic stationary passing stuff. I just want to give you some ideas of things that you can do to help change puck angles while incorporating looking over your shoulder and different kinds of movements so that they can gain some confidence in making plays while they are under pressure. So we would pass a player a puck, get them to move, look over his shoulder, do little spins, and move the puck back. We'll see it again. I hope that you get some ideas out of these and not necessarily just do exactly what I'm saying, but just different ways to do stationary passing. Mike, this is that rondo game I was telling you. So in soccer, they play a game called rondo. Essentially, it's monkey in the middle. But again, if you were ever to play monkey in the middle with a U11 group, the parents would say, oh, my kid's way too good to play monkey in the middle. But this is a fantastic passing drill. So if you just picture this with me, we have the face-off circle. And I took a bingo dabber and I drew another circle just outside the face-off circle. And so this player right here and this player right here, you have to stay inside the face-off circle. This player, this player, this player, this player, and this player, you have to stay between the face-off circle and the new circle that I drew. And essentially it's just keep away. And I want you to pay attention to all of the plays, the passes, the mistakes, the angles, everything that is being worked on in this drill under full pressure. Anytime that there's a turnover, I say there's no arguing. If you turn the puck over, go in the middle, the person who acquired the puck, quickly get outside in between the two circles, and the drill just continues just like this. And so it's just a very continuous drill. I'm standing out of the picture with pucks. Anytime the puck goes flying somewhere, the kids know if you made the mistake, quickly get out, no arguing. Next player goes in and I'll throw a new puck. So you can just see here, they're trying behind the back passes. They're trying to find different angles. They're trying to protect pucks. and it's competitive. So you can see there, no look passes. You can see here, defense, you're working on stick and puck, taking away lanes. Behind the back passes. Trying to find different lanes. So to me, helping with poise is knowing that you can move the puck in any way, shape, or form. That if pressure is really coming on you, you know that you can slip it under sticks. You have confidence that you can sauce it. You can put it through guys' legs. You can behind the back pass. You can backhand pass. Everything. So we do a lot of these. I mean, I don't want you to think that I'm doing stationary passing for 15 minutes. It might be a quick 5-minute, get the hands going, couple different progressions. We'll go into a rondo style game. There's other keep away games that we play, but all good little passing drills. Then there's multi-puck drills. So this is never going to happen in a game where you have 2 pucks on the ice, but has to do with tracking, planning ahead, call it multi-awareness. You're trying to think about a couple different things. So here players just skating up and down the ice, handling 3 pucks. I want them looking around, scanning, because if you can be aware of all of these things, you're going to be able to be more aware of other players on the ice. And building on just the basic figure 8 drill with looking to where you're going, now we have players do it with 2 pucks, making figure 8s while they're handling 2 pucks. So focus on all the things on the left, all in hopes that you're able to handle the puck with ease, making it look easier in a game situation. Getting into that game situational now. So looking at open ice poise, looking at just being able to shift our body weight, the Sergachev clip, all the fakes with the hands and McDonough. How do we shift our weight to make opponents move their stick, their toes, or both? We have to make sure that our body moves in sync. I want players to be tight with their body, not all loose, moving around like this. And we want active hands. So this player, right now, anyways, is touted to be a first-round pick in this NHL draft as a defenseman. You can see here, this is the start, how he's shifting. There's not much movement with his eyes. So we're trying to simulate a D to D pass. We want him to fake that. And you can see his head's not really looking D to D. So he's not really selling it. There's not a very good weight shift. So again, this is all just stationary. Now look at his eyes and his head. And I'm standing in the background, cueing him on all this. Now I want him to get it loaded a little bit quicker. So you can see here that little fake, and I want him to get it loaded so he can make a play. Again, simple things, but these high-end players make mistakes too. It's just doing these things over and over and over. And if you have a team of players, you can go one right after the other. You can see here now he's getting more confidence in the weight shift. Eyes, everything moved together. I thought that was great. He just didn't end up handling the puck, and these are going to happen. But when we look at his weight shift at the start to this rep, that was pretty elite. And now here, I think he's able to control and handle the puck. So this would have been maybe 10, 15 minutes of work on just this. And then moving forwards to a couple NHL players doing the same thing, but forwards just working on coming up the ice, working on shifting their body weight back and forth. And you can see, like, I don't think that's the greatest. I think he could be a lot better at it. And, these players in the NHL are working on the very basic things. This drill you'd see in Hockey Canada videos a lot. They call it 4-cone agility. I don't like to use cones on the ice or any kind of devices or anything like that. And so I just tell the guys, like, just go outside the circle and then come back to the middle and dangle me. You got to go outside the circle, come back and dangle me. Do that 3 times and then finish with a shot on net. Now, instead of just coming outside the circle and skating around a cone, I'm going to get the player to spin backwards, and we're going to work on this weight shift that you just saw with the other player doing. So again, just different ways to stack and combine skills into drills that you can do. And the biggest challenge for me as a skill or development coach or whatever you want to call us is trying to work on the same things in different ways so players don't get bored. And here, just working on some fake turns now. So instead of just skating around a cone, we have a player trying to accomplish a task that they're going to use later on in game. And you'll see where we're going to use this in a game as well as puck protection. So you saw here in his better clips when he was behind the net, working on getting his toes and his body around the puck so he could protect it to give little bumps to his teammates. U15 player, Again, we're just going to get him to retrieve, work on a little weight shift, and then transition up the ice. So just these very little basic plays. And if you're doing a team drill, whatever your team drill is, and your D has to go back and pick up a puck, these are all little details that you can add to whatever your favorite transition drills are. Instead of just drawing on the board, hey, D, go pick up a puck and move it up ice, you can add these little, I want you to do a weight shift. I want you to do an escape move. I want you to do a look off. I want you to try and get your hands doing a fake. All these little things you can throw into your favorite drills. Kate is a prep hockey player. She is a pretty crafty little player. This is just the same figure 8 turning drill, but now they have to pivot backwards, and we're going to add that weight shift. So all I say to her is, I want you doing figure 8s, but you got to pivot backwards, do a little weight shift, transition out of it. Same Nev, she's a little older now, and I think this is pretty damn good. Nev's a great female hockey player. She played in the boys leagues for a long time, and now she's playing all female hockey. And watching her execute moves like this in her league it's really fun to watch. Here's Carson again, and kind of going back to the 3 points to sell, the eyes, the toes, and the stick blade. So we just see here, now we're putting them under pressure. So kind of getting into more game-like situations where we spot a puck, he's got to go and retrieve. You can see here that the puck is on his backhand. His toes and his eyes are looking up ice. So right now, if he needed to, someone was open, he could make a quick backhand pass. He's also selling me that he's going that way. So you can see where my stick is. And now he's able to peel out the other way, buy himself time and space. Same thing with Sandy here. We did a lot of these, being able to get his hips and his body going one way. And just working on those simple little details to sell it, getting hips, toes. And you can see here how we add to the drill. So after he does the rep, you can see here on the first rep, and I don't have all of our practice reps on here just for the purposes of time, but this would be his first rep. And you can see here how we just end the drill after this, because that was the focus of the drill. We needed to make that better so that he could transfer that into the game. After a handful of reps, whatever it was, now we're still going to do the same drill because I still want to work on these reps. And then now when he comes out of it, now we're going to do a forward weight shift. And you can see there that was pretty good compared to what we saw in the other videos. Now just adding some pressure. So we got this player going back, retrieving, same drill. We have another player forechecking. This is all live. And now you can see here that I'm just trying to add support. He's got to read where I am, as well as another coach. And he's got to just make a play. So just always trying to find how we can add another layer to the drill, whether it's with decisions, options, speed, the timing, the pressure, and the decisions that they can make within that drill. Looking into using the net now, the net's the safest place on the ice. So teaching our defensemen to use it as an asset is something I think we should all be doing, is teaching them that the timing of it, that we don't want to, there's a time and a place for everything. So never say, hey, don't get back to the net quick, because they do need to do that, but also understanding the just enough concept. Let's make our timing just enough so that forechecker thinks that he has a chance, and then you're able to cut him off at the net and wheel. And these are the concepts that we would be doing with our higher end defensemen, maybe not a middle of the pack, lower end defenseman at the highest levels or the second highest levels. Maybe we're not talking about this concept of just enough, but this would be a higher end player for his age group at the U15 level. You can see here that he's moving just enough to make me think I have a chance, and then he's cutting that net. And these would be some of his first reps that we're doing on this. Look at his eyes, protecting the puck, head looking over his shoulder, moving just enough to make me think that I have a chance. And all I want him to do is just read where I'm going. He's got to react. This would be a drill where I have 2 white jerseys. I dump a puck in. The white jerseys, their job is to work together to try and skate the puck outside the ringette line and then pass it to me. I'm just standing on the blue line by the face-off dot. And as soon as the puck leaves my stick when I dump it in, this blue jersey, his job is to go and steal the puck and score. So now I have a forechecker going in at full pressure. I'm not telling him what to do, where to go, how to do it. I say, I just want you to go and get the puck and score. Same with the white jerseys. I'm not telling them where to go, what to do. We've talked about some of these concepts. I just say, work together. You guys have to figure out how to get the puck outside the ringette line and then pass it to me. And this is just how it looks. These players are U11 and U13. So player gets net safety, sucks a guy in, goes out the other way, makes a little play, and they get me the puck. I dump it right back in. Same thing. Player tries to use the net, sucks him in one way. And again, it doesn't look the greatest. It's not pretty, but this is the way that youth hockey goes. And we have to work on these concepts. And one of the first slides that I showed, there was a picture that says, be brave to suck at something new, and try little drills like that and see how they go. And it might not look the greatest at the start, but kids will start learning and they'll start trying to apply the concepts that you're teaching them. I stole this drill from Reed Cashman, the defense coach with the Washington Capitals, at the coaches site conference a couple of years ago in Toronto. Here's me and Ryan Pulak from New York Islanders, just working on the concept of being able to cut the net, suck players into us. So we're just going to pass back and forth. As soon as I jump him, that's when the drill starts, and he cannot go outside the circle. And he's just trying to use the net as safety to try and suck me in and go the other way. So if you just watch his feet, watch his eyes, it's a great agility skating drill for young kids. And I would play this drill with youth kids. We play it with U9 kids, but we would do this, if you can picture it, we might just have one net in there. We might have two. We might just use a divider pad in there as well. And we don't use sticks. We don't use pucks. We just simply play tag. And one person's it. One person's trying to get away. You have to stay inside the circle, use the net as an obstacle or a barrier. And the kids are laughing, they're smiling, they're competing. If you just watch the edge work, the change of direction, they're having fun. So it's a fantastic drill for guys in the NHL making a lot of money, and kids that are at the U7 level learning skating and learning the concept of using a net. Looking at corner retrievals here. So we start a lot of drills off of face-offs. And so all we're doing here is I'm on the pucks and I just win a face-off into the corner. So player right here is the D-man in his defensive zone. This other guy is his partner in the D zone. And we have two coaches, in this case, forechecking. You could have other players forechecking. And this is just how it looks. This is just live. Player in the Grays in the Western League. And this is Owen, the guy who's, like I said, is right now anyways, projected to go in the late first round of this year's draft. So just working on making decisions. And you can see here, he makes a bad decision. He's bumps the puck to the wrong spot, nobody home. Toes one way, bumps it the other way. I like here how he was able to have poise and patience and hang on to it. Here we're working on him trying to get his hips around the puck a little bit more, so he knows I'm a smarter player. He's got his toes, eyes, and puck positioning on the right side of his body. Swings his hips right around. I just want him to be faster at that. He's able to maintain possession. And there was a really good read to make a nice little bump. Now we're using 3/4 ice. So we have player in gray's got to retrieve. These two players are forechecking, and the player that's retrieving in gray, he has to try and find where the coaches are and just makes a nice little rim play to a coach with open ice. Player in white's trying to retrieve, makes a nice little bump or rim play to a coach. And here we're just building the habits of shoulder checking, scanning. And that would have been at the U18, U15 level. Here's at the NHL and pro level, same exact drill. And what you can't see in camera here is that after they get the coaches the puck, I pass it to a player who's waiting at the far blue line. And the two players who were forechecking are now going to join the player on the offensive blue, on the far blue line, and they're going to come back 3 versus 1 against the player who just made the zone exit. So now players are getting work on 3-on-1s. They get to score goals. The goalies are involved. This drill would be a situation where I'm putting this player in black under pressure by two players, and we have a player in black here waiting on the weak side. So all I do is have two players here in white, one player here in black. Player in black are on offense. I just dump the puck to an area. Player in black has to go and retrieve the puck. Player in white, they're not worried about the weak side at all. Their job is to just go and pressure the puck carrier. Puck carrier has to identify, where are my options? How can I suck somebody in and make a play? And you can see here a little mistake. He couldn't find the lane. Player here tries to suck the players up, does a little good turn away, finds a lane under the puck, or sorry, under the stick, and makes a good pass. Here, I think this player tries to do some fancy footwork that I know a lot of us teach, but there's a time and a place to use all of this. And he basically just skates himself into the corner. So he chooses to do some fancy footwork over just a simple shoulder check. You can watch, he doesn't look over his shoulder or check or see what's going on. Nothing works and just gets eaten up, and defenders steal the puck right away. Player in black does a great job sucking someone in, and just a nice little saucer pass over the sticks. And so these are just little drills that we do often, that after we've worked on the basic skills, now we got to make sure we put players under pressure and we can manipulate different situations according to the things that we're trying to work on. That's all I have for you guys here on video and the presentation. There's my email address. There's my phone number. If you guys want to text me or call me with anything to talk hockey, I'm always open. Most of the videos that you saw are on our YouTube channel, Evolution Hockey. We just use our channel basically to just post things that we're working on, just to help out minor hockey coaches, just if they're looking for drill ideas. We have a whole bunch of different playlists for forwards, D, just minor hockey drills, whatever. We throw all of our stuff up on there for people to talk about. Happy to answer any questions. I hope that you all learned something today, took a couple points away that you can hopefully use in your practices, things that you can add to your drills, or even got drill ideas that from concepts that I talked about that you can drop into drills that you already run and love and enjoy doing. So I'll stop sharing my screen. Mike, I'll turn it over to you. Any questions you guys have, I'm happy to stick around and hot stove it with all you guys and learn something from you as well.
Thanks, Riley. I've got a few questions, but I'm happy to let you guys go first. Just if you want, go off of mute, put your camera on. This one's a meeting seminar or a meeting format, not a webinar. So we can see everybody here if you want to have some discussion and ask some questions.
Couple guys in the chat talking about Rondo and keep away. We play so many little keep away games. It's a great way to start practice or do at the start of practice when your goalie coaches are at the other end doing goalie stuff. You know, we can play a lot of keep away games, working on a number of different skills. So it's good to hear some other people here are playing keep away as well.
Yeah, that's, you know, it's something I was just checking notes here, and that's something that was written down. I was watching some games on the weekend, and some of the players play the game like they're playing ping pong. It was just the puck was going from one team to the other up the strong side into traffic. It looked like a ping pong game. And you know, that keep away versus ping pong, you know, like I'm at the point where next year I think I got to do a lot more keep away games at the start of the practice. Maybe not so much one-on-one keep away, but team-based keep away to extend the zone and use each other and get that support figured out. And I guess that goes right into my question is like, how can we better educate parents so we can run some of these drills at a lower level and not be, you know, we all know what anybody that works with teams and players, you know, when parents are going to raise an eyebrow and go, oh, what is this? This is too simple. So any comments on how to educate better and be able to go back and do some of those fundamental things without worrying about it as a skill provider?
I don't know. I stopped worrying about it a couple of years ago. I just don't care anymore. It's like don't sign up for our program or don't listen to me or whatever. Like, so I stopped caring about it, but I know some minor hockey coaches might not be in that same situation. I think just letting people know that like the best players in the world want to work on just the simplest things. Like the drills that you saw me doing with Sanheim there, like we work on that stuff like all the time, and it's just the simplest little things. And like people will ask like, hey, do you have any good drills? And it's like, I don't know, we just work on simple things all the time, and we just constantly progress. But in terms of the details of doing those basics, I think if we're doing it at the minor hockey level and you are a little bit concerned of it, don't do it for 20 minutes. Do it for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and gradually just kind of go from one to the next and try and phase it in that way. That would maybe be my suggestion. Or I know you probably have some compilations on YouTube or our channel anyways, where we have pros just doing the very basics. And if it's good enough for Sidney Crosby, it should be good enough for your 11-year-old or your 8-year-old. But I also do understand the parents' perspective that in minor hockey, like kids might get 1 hour of practice a week. And, hockey is the most difficult team sport in the world to play. And as an observer, if I'm dropping my kid off at hockey and I see him just standing there passing a puck when, he needs to get better at so many different things, moving around, skating, competing, playing, like, so I do understand that as well, that a parent's like, is this the best use of our time? So I do get that. I would say that maybe do these basic things in a station-based practice. So if you have other assistant coaches on the ice, maybe you have like battle and compete drills or whatever to please the parents, if that's your kind of objective or whatever. But do those basic little drills and the simple things maybe in a station, so that it kind of gets buried and kind of hidden from the overall scope of what the parents are seeing in that practice.
There are a couple questions in the chat room here, Riley. First one, what percentage of practice or session would you devote to this?
Devote to keep away games, or just small area games in general, or like?
I think he's meaning poise in general, like some of the drills you showed. So
that's a great question. So in our program, most of the people have been with us for many, many years. And so we're always progressing. So we're at a point now where like most of our practice is like small area games. And it's not like we just have a game, throw the puck out, and then stand there and watch them. Like we have little things that we're always working on. I don't say we blow it down all the time because we don't, but there's little things that we talk about, or little rules that we might change in a game, or little things that we want to work on. So I would say a lot. I think that anytime we're in the butterfly pattern, like skating up and down the ice, working on our hands, working on our edges and our skating, I think those are all building blocks of poise. I don't think that, well, we don't sit down to plan a practice or a session and say, hey, we're working on poise today. We're working on like all the skills, but that leads into the overall scope of somebody being able to play with poise. I think that's kind of like the end result kind of down the line, that if someone has all of those basic skills, like I outlined, of the puck control with your eyes, being able to look around, the turning both ways, to be able to transition skate. So we do all of those things. I wouldn't say to that U11 player, hey, we're working on poise today, but we're building those building blocks. But when I see an NHL player, that same transition drill might be, hey, we're going to work on the building blocks of poise, and they understand poise. And that's what is important to them, is the poise, not necessarily working on transition skating. I hope that makes sense or answers your question. I don't have a percentage number because it's always different.
Next one here from Travis. Can you recommend other hidden learning games that work on various skills and areas?
Oh man, small area. I love small area game. Like I said, that's most of our practices now with people that have been with us for multiple years. We have this game that we call the power play game. They should be up on our channel, or Hockey Eastern Ontario. If you just Google Hockey Eastern Ontario small area games, they have a fantastic little booklet in there of all small area games. We use a lot of those, and we kind of take little bits and pieces from each one of those to make our own little games. The last drill that you saw with the black and white jerseys it was 2v2, but we had the two people on defense only going after the puck carrier. Like, I don't know if I would call that a small area game. We call those live situations. We have situation drills where we create a situation. I would just say be creative with it as best as you can. And like, what situation do you want to work on? and how can you create just a little situation and have little rules in there that works on those skills, and do it under no pressure, and then add some pressure, add different decisions, and then finally play it live. And we do so many of the same drills. It's crazy, but no one ever seems to get sick of it, because we always have another layer, or we always have another skill that we can add to it.
Yeah, that's good. So I've got another one here. So the difference between poise and quick puck movement. So depending on what age and tier you're working with, what do you think the separating factor is in that? So those clips you showed, you got a lot of players that are playing maybe not at the elite level, that because their vision is limited and it almost looks like poise, but they're holding on to the puck too long. How would you balance holding on to the puck too long because of a skill deficiency versus teaching poise? And maybe how would you identify the difference between those two things? Because there's a time and a place, like you said, to move pucks quick, and a time and a place to hold on to it a little longer. I always find that's difficult for me to conceptualize.
Yeah, that's a great question, loaded question. I think there's lots that we can talk about that. Like, one thing that I always say with players that are coming to work with us, whether it's privately, semi-privately, whatever your head coach is telling you to do, that's what you have to do. Like, don't do what I'm telling you to, like, do what your head coach is telling you to do. But my job is to help you create time and space. My job is to help evolve your game. And you have to somehow implement that into what your head coach wants you to do. So some of those ones with Sanheim, they're like, it's in there, without getting into too much detail, it's in their team pack. Like, they want to do a lot of rims and quick ups and things like that. So if that play is there and necessary, like, you have to make it. But he also wants to evolve his game, and he also wants to have more poise in his game, and he wants to be able to make more plays. So we work on all of those things. And my job is just to build those skill sets, because he might not be a Philadelphia Flyer forever. He might get traded, or there might be a new head coach that comes in. Or if we're looking at the bantam level, like, that bantam AAA coach probably isn't going to be this player's coach the next year when they move into U18. And who knows what that coach is going to want or say. So my job is to really build the skills of it. It would have to be, like we say all the time, it would have to be so game situational. For you would have to show me a clip and say, this guy's hanging on to the puck too long. And we would have to talk about those. The player might not be able to see the plays. They might be nervous. They might panic with it, and they might overthink things, and they might see that simple option, and they might think, oh, I'm going to wait until something better comes along. And so a lot of it might be up here and with the player. And if you really read into coaching, when I started doing this a long time ago, you start with like yelling, telling, and then now I'm more in the asking phase. So I more ask players, like, what did you see here? What did you think? And like, they're saying some things that I'm very glad that they say it, because what I saw was very different, but what they saw really helps me. Like, I shouldn't yell at this kid because he saw that. I need to help them understand, hey, that was a great time to hang on to the puck, or that was, that was a time where maybe you needed to move it a little bit quicker. I don't know if that answered your question, but those are just some of the things that came to mind when you asked that.
Yeah. Another one here. Have you attempted any off-ice training? So like, the fit lights or Sensorina or anything like that in regards to decision making?
And I tried that Sensorina with Hockey Canada. The guy came and did a demo with us. I thought it was really cool. Like, I don't know. Is it a gimmick or what? I don't know.
Question on that one.
Yeah.
So when I first seen that presented, I'm like, okay, it's fine and dandy to have something on your eyes and make decisions, but if you can't handle the puck, so does it have the element of stick handling by feel in it or not?
No.
Like, are you actually handling the puck when you have?
No, not that I don't think so. It was a few years ago now, but I don't think so. It takes like, I don't know. I was actually going through I'd be taking a one-timer, like you actually have to go through that motion, and it just felt a little different. But I did like, there was some features in it, and how I designed, actually, I got that, that last drill that I showed, the black and the white jerseys. I got that idea concept from Sensorina. So I was the player in the game that had to go back and retrieve a puck, and I had pressure on me, and you basically have to look and identify where your open guy was. And I thought, like, if I did this for 20 minutes a day, like, I'd be making pretty good decisions. But then again, it's all virtual. So does it actually transfer? I don't know, but it definitely helped my like awareness of the situation to help build a drill for a player.
Yeah.
Other things, multi-sport. I can't stress enough how important other sports are. I encourage kids to play basketball and lacrosse. They're both 5-on-5 sports, as well as soccer. That's going to help with decision making. All of those little games off the ice that are very similar to hockey and involve teamwork, an object of the game, whether it's a ball or something else. Those all really help decision making and that type of thing as well.
Yeah.
So yes, office training for sure.
Yeah. Another one here from Sean. When you're trying to fix bad habits, how many ice times would you expect to take a player to adjust their habits when you're consistently working on the same similar skills? Another loaded one for you, but have
yeah. Yeah, it totally depends on the player and the level. If the kid really cares and they're really dialed as a learner, not long in practice, you might be able to make some huge adjustments in just one practice or one-on-one. But in terms of it transferring to a game, might take a lot longer. A really like a pro, like we worked on that simple stuff a lot, and like over and over and over and over and over and over. And you saw there when I showed the early videos of Sanheim, how he was starting to do it, and he was just a little shaky on it, transferring it to a game. So, and then by the end of the season, I think anyways, and he feels like he's getting a lot better with it. So it might take a whole season of hockey to really make these improvements, but in practice, I think you can make little detail adjustments that they'll be aware of and they need to work on. But it's a never ending process. It's literally never ending. And that's the most enjoyable part of my job, is that there's always a new problem to solve, or there's always a way to make it better.
Yeah, you sure see, this year too, a lot of eye openers on just mindset. The players that are open to making adjustments, and the players that are just, their hard drive is programmed to a certain thing, and it's just night and day. Some players, and maybe it's the message, the delivery, the drill types, but you always have players that resonate with your teaching style and really pick it up quick, and other ones that just seem like they just never get it. So Sean, what you're talking about there that's a good question. That one's, I think every coach that has more than one player on their team just deals with that diversity of how long it takes to actually fix something, or to readjust something, or get them thinking another way. So
yeah, and
lots of variables in that one.
To kind of build on that too is like, does the player give a shit? Like, and there's lots that just don't. And like, so how long? I wouldn't even put a timeline on it, because like, I don't want to say wasting my time, because I mean, we're trying to help everybody, but I wouldn't spend like, if the kid's not listening to you and like doesn't really care, like spend more of your time with the kids that care, and give those kids that don't really care, like they're still playing the game they don't love the game as much as me, and that's okay. And that's one thing that I've really adopted as a coach over the past few years, is not everyone loves the game as much as I do. And like, the kid really just doesn't care. And so try and find things that they enjoy doing, and help them build habits that are going to help them for the amount of effort and care that they want to put into their game as well. And then you'll see some improvement in it. Like, he's not going to care if you gave a U13 second or third level from the top player, if you told him about where his eyes and his toes and his blade is looking, like, he doesn't care. But if you helped him with something that was a little bit more basic about how his feet were positioned, like, hey, when you're turning, you're dragging your toe, and this is really slowing you down and keeping you off balance. If you keep both blades on the ice, you're going to turn much better. Well, he might care a little bit more about that, and you might want to work on that.
Okay, well, I think that's probably good. Thanks, Riley, for taking the time to do this. Always appreciated. And yeah, to the group here, I think with the coaches site, I think the coaches site presentations are coming up in the next few weeks, so we'll probably take a break from these. We might reconvene in May if there's a demand for it. If not, we'll get on it a little sooner next winter and try for some January, February courses. But anybody that's on here or interested in this stuff, please reach out, send me an email, give me a call. We need to try to build this out and, you know, try to find things that are going to get people excited and get on here and have conversations. So your feedback is always welcome. Love to have a chat with you about it. So yeah, thanks, gang. Thanks, Riley.
Right on. Thanks. I hope you guys all took a couple points out of here, got some value out of it, and hopefully learned something new.